Hello, and oh, that was a little. I don't know if you heard that, but I moved my LaCroix. Hang on just a second. Hello, and welcome back to Turner Life Sport. This is a second continuation of my first video, cycling maintenance and vlog and all that. So definitely check that out if you've not seen that. And today I'm going to be talking about some different things, a little bit of stuff that I meant to say last time. I know I didn't talk about my cycling kit like I said I was going to, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. Just other things to invest in, and um, like I said, a continuation. One thing that I did not think about in the last video that I thought of kind of in the bridge to this section are tools that you need, and also locks. So you need to keep those in mind too, like when you buy a bike. And I'm going to talk about that momentarily, the lock. However, we're going to talk about a couple other things too, like grip tape and just kind of electrical tape. And I'm digging around here. Here's my little stash. I don't know if you can see all that. I talk about tools and that, and of course, got my sunscreen because so here it is. You need to invest in these things. I actually got these for free with my bike, and also a pair of pedals because I bought the Fuji on Wiggle because they didn't have any in stock. Like, it seemed like there wasn't any in stock at the time, but wrench, you can get a spanner wrench. Park Tool, I'm going to talk about them. I have like a ton of their stuff here. Other things too. I forgot here, tire levers. So this company here, Park Tool, you can get like all this stuff. This is anything that you see that's blue in the store is going to be Park Tool. But here it is. So give me just a second. Different things to invest in. There's a lot. So let's talk about this stuff. Let's get into it. I'm at 2 minutes. So you can get Google search Park Tool. Their company, long story short, in St. Paul, Minnesota. I used to live in Oakdale, Minnesota, and their headquarters are actually down the street from where I used to live. So they're they are the number one bike tool company in the world. And if you see anything from GCN, or even like any guy like RJ the Bike Guy, or what's his name, Bike Guy for You, they have a ton of Park Tool products. If you go to your bike shop, in all sincerity, you're going to see a ton of Park Tool products. And that's because, again, they are the number one bike tool company in the world. And I really highly recommend everything from them. But I'm going to talk about something like this in just a minute. This is so we're going to talk about grip tape, tires, flat kit, what you need to invest in there, which the flat kit really goes along with tires and maintenance. Kit in general, tubes, which go along with the tires, and then locks. So to start off with, to invest in a flat kit, you need to at least have one spare tire. This is what I did. And there's different, of course, brands of tires that you can get into, and even different kinds of tires and different kinds of wheels, depending upon the bike that you have and that you're riding. So with my Fuji Feather, I've got they're clincher tires. So they came with 700 by 25 C, so they're 700 by, or 700X is the size of the wheel, and then the size of the tire that will fit the 700 wheel set that I have is there's different sizes of them. So the skinnier the tire, basically, there's like kind of a, I don't want to say a misconception that you'll go faster, but um, generally speaking, like the more skinnier tire you have, like the more like contact with the road that you will have. That is to say, like you really like the best way how I can describe it is um, like riding in a sports car versus like riding in a minivan, or it's that same kind of concept, or like even like riding in a coupe versus like riding in a just a regular sedan. Okay, like the sedan is like, built, yeah, it can go fast and this and that, but it's built more for like families, whereas like the coupe or the sports car or the roadster or whatever is like built for like grip and, to race, to go quick, really quick, as fast as possible. So I had the tires that came on the Feather are actually done. They're not there now. I've got Continentals on there, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but they came with gator skins. I'm sorry, I have gator skins. They came with Vittoria Zafiros, 700 by 25C, and they were just wire bead tires, and there's different kinds of beads. You can do your own research. I'm going to link a video to Vittoria Zafiro that kind of talks about the different kinds of tires, and I'm talking about clincher tires, and then there's other kinds of tires. There's like tubeless tires, there's tubular tires, there's like, so at the end of the day, like, like I said, do your own research. But when it comes to clincher tires, which are like really common on a ton of road bikes, and also, tubular tires are popular too, but generally speaking, this is how it works. The smaller the size you have, again, the more contact with the road you're going to have, that is to say, like, it has to do with like road vibration in a car, right? So like, again, you have a Grand Touring car, you're going to like really feel the road, like you're dug into that cockpit. And like when you're riding a bike and you've got like a skinnier tire, like you're going to feel like every single cobblestone, right? You're gonna feel like every single crack. Whereas like, if you go up a size in tire from like 700 by 25, like I had, now I run 700 by 28C, okay? They will be more comfortable for you if you ride in the road. And they're not necessarily going to detract from your speed a lot if you decrease the amount of pounds per square inch of air or PSI in your tire. So, case in point, I could make a whole video on this, seriously, and there's tons of other great videos out there that explain this. So like these are gator skins, like I said. These are by Continental, and I have kind of like worn these a little bit, but not bad at all. That's just me talking. These are 700 by 28C, and you can see the wall on them there. These are like kind of dark brown, and they look nice, but the function of them, these are the best commuting tires you can get, like if you're an urban rider, and I could make a whole video on these too. But so basically how this works is like, even if you have like any other brand and if you decide that you want like a bigger tire, why you would do that is because, like I said, you're going to find, if you commute or even if you ride in the road a lot, like even in like a rural area, but especially speaking from experience in in an urban area, that there's like, again, potholes, there's dead animals, there's, broken bottles from, somebody's Uncle Terry being an alcoholic, just whatever. So like, and I've said this in my first cycling video, that I've pretty much seen it all in the road here in Indianapolis, like other than like, like a big dead dog or like, a jaguar, because we don't have those here, clearly. But I have seen it all. everything in the road. So, you need to get a kit and you need to plan ahead. And with your tires, whatever tires that you have, do some research. See what, like, how many miles they're good for. Like, and like, if you have tubes, and if you decide that like, hey, you want to switch, or like maybe that you don't really like your tire, or like you've got, like you want to switch out your grip tape, and then you just want more cushion on your bike or whatever. That's fine. That was the whole point. I wanted a race bike that I could go really fast on for me, but that I'd be really comfortable at, and not necessarily, even though I have done it, sacrifice speed in certain areas, if not all areas of the bike. So, that being said, I decided I wanted to get Panaracer Pacellas because I saw this guy, Zach Gallardo, on YouTube. He's got a great fixed gear channel. So definitely check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He's a really funny guy, really kind of relaxed guy, knows a lot of stuff. But he had Panaracer Pacellas, and I was inspired by him to get them. And I bought them. They're a Japanese company. They make great stuff, but they were sold out of them for years. And by the time I decided to invest in my gator skins, they were still sold out of them. So, and I had already done research, and everybody was blowing up about the gator skins, and I decided to invest in the gator skins. So, and honestly, the Panaracers are not as good as the gator skins. They're not. And again, I could make a whole video just on the gator skins alone. But that's not what this is about. So you need to invest in at least one spare tire. And even if you don't know what it is that you want, because you might not have enough experience on your bike yet to really figure out what you want, and that's fine. But you do need to invest in a spare tire, and with a spare tire, you need to get, if you have clincher tires like me, you need to get a tube that will fit your wheel. So this size here, generally speaking, if you have a track frame bike or, that sort of thing, you need a tube. And you'll notice this is also a Continental tube. It's a race tube. And I'll talk about that. I've got other tubes in here that I've flattened. I've not thrown away, because this is actually one thing I'm going to talk about next. In the patch flat kit. This actually this was a vulcanizing patch kit, and I had tire boots. You get sandpaper, and then you basically, I'll put a link to Park Tools video of this in the description, but basically I found this out from my experience. You can either patch, the reason why these are not patched is because I don't have any fluid. I need to buy some. It kind of dried out, which I was not expecting. That was I was kind of disappointed with that with this, but they are still a really great, Park Tools, still a really great company. I just didn't know, like I said, but basically, you can patch a tube. I need to just do a whole video on tires, which is going to come up. So long story short, you can patch a tube if you get a flat, and you need to have a flat kit, like I said, or you can just buy a new one. Okay, this is empty, but I'm going to put one of my patched tubes back in there. But generally speaking, I just like to buy a new one. Even though the patched ones will can last you a lifetime. And I've even heard guys on threads and stuff that say they've had tubes that they've had to patch several times, and then as soon as they put the patch on, they don't ever have a problem again. Either way you want to go, the Conti tubes cost $8. Generally speaking, you get a great tube, it's going to be $6 to $8. In that ballpark with tax. So that sort of thing. So get your patch kit. I got a vulcanizing patch kit as opposed to just kind of the standard one. And then I got something called a Park Tool tire boot, which is really it's an emergency thing, which honestly, they're $2, and it doesn't hurt to have them, but they're really not a big deal. Do your own research, and I might put a link to them in the description. But anyways, so those are kind of like your main tools. And then like when you need to invest in a pair of, these are called tire levers. And these will help you get, after you pop your wheels off, to install the tire and the tube. And then like I said, there's different tires, or I'm sorry, yeah, tires. There's like, for clincher tires, there's wire bead tires, which were what were my Zephyros, my Vittoria Zephyros, excuse me. And then there are folding tires. So these are tires that you can take on like journeys, or the folding tires, long story short, are the better tire. They're more expensive, but they're a lot easier to pop on the bike, and they have Kevlar in them. And generally speaking, a lot of them, I mean, they're better quality from the research that I've done, and I love them. And I would never go back to using a wire bead tire. Like, it's just, I don't like putting them on. I don't like installing them. I like the Kevlars. I like the folding beads. So that is like, so I've talked about flat kits and then tires and tubes. Now I'm going to talk about the kit. Actually, how much time do I have? Okay, I got to make this quick. I know I said I was going to talk about the kit, but first I'm going to talk about U-locks, because I still haven't even talked about grip tape. I have here, so I'm actually going to talk about grip tape first. You know what? We're gonna do two at once. Okay, here we go. About 4 minutes here. So there's different kinds. So the next thing that after your tires, basically that's like the first thing you want to upgrade. The next thing that you want to upgrade, if not first, depending upon how bad your tape is to update your grip tape. I've got Sinelli tape here. There's Sinelli tape on the bike. But in the past, I have used lizard skins, and if I go here and I show you this, not to be, snazzy or whatever, this is actually for the video. Those are Lizard Skin brand bar end plugs. Why I show you that is because there's an expander. As you can see, there's like a nut, which is actually attached to an expander in the bar end plug. These are really high-end plugs that used to come with the grip tape. I think they still do, but they were marketed to me a couple of years ago as like not being sold with them, so do your own research. And then, as you can see here, for these Sinelli tapes, this is the bar end plug that you get that does not have that metal expander or nut in there, and basically like this is the expander. It's all plastic, and you're basically trying to like fit plastic into metal, and this is just so cheap I wouldn't even like bother. But you do need to they come with generally speaking, they come with like finishing strips, and these do, but always make sure you have like Scotch tape on hand to finish the strip off. And then last thing you need is a U-lock. So I've got there's different kinds of U-locks. There's like Asus, but I use Kryptonite, and Kryptonite's got like a ton of different U-locks. And then I actually bought the cable combination. So this is like really great this is like an extra deterrent, but you want to get a U-lock. You can get this for like $50. Of course, not all of this, but just, these two things here, like the lock setup here, $50. And, it comes with like a dirt cover, so you can like close this. And this I was like really not impressed with. This is a $50 lock here, or in that range, and you can see like it's duct tape. And this is actually to like clip onto a system that came with it. You can like put it on your bike, but the frame is so small it's not even worth it. And this is just like a terrible design. In all sincerity, it was not it. Like you can see, I have to use a hex screw to tighten it, and it just like stopped working. So I was really unimpressed with that. But the lock itself is like really great, and there's different locks too. I'm going to try to talk about this really quick. The last thing that you need to do is get a kit. So you need to get a cycling jersey and a pair of bibs, maybe not bib shorts, but at least like shorts like this. One thing that I thought was really cool with my Bontrager jersey and pants is that they came with like a manufacturer's date on them, and I thought that was extremely cool. These here you can see this is actually grip here, and there's I want to take these down, but I don't think I have enough time. There's actually a saddle shaped cushion in the seat of those that is like really comfortable, and I'm really happy I invested in the shorts. And there's different kinds of shorts, like I said, like bib shorts. And then with the jersey, you need a jersey if you do like anywhere from like 7.5 miles to 10 miles a day, because or like even like 12 miles a day, because in all sincerity, like that's a 20K on a bike. And if you do that consistently, you're training pretty well. So I would recommend investing in that. And then the breathability on this is so great. I mean, today it was 90 degrees. You get like different pockets so you can store like your phone and you can listen to your earbud, like with your earbuds and thread them through it. And you can put your keys in there and just like put a snack in there, like a protein bar or whatever. Other things too. And then today it was so hot, like I said in the previous video, it was like 90 degrees that like I was so drenched from cycling and my sweat that it's so moisture wicking that like my back part of the jersey was like soaked, and it was like wet. It was like getting my phone somewhat wet. And I'm not explaining this as best as I can, but I'm really low on time, and this is where I have to end the video, guys. I'm sorry, but thanks for tuning in and have a great night.